Exciting. Yeah, there really isn't much news out there, man. That's weird.
Yeah, no, like I said, this whole week has been kind of an interesting one. I think most of the news is usually kind of funneled through Twitter. I found like a lot of like developers and stuff will announce stuff through Twitter, and then with Twitter being like in this weird like mess, like everyone's just like we don't want to talk about it.
It is the greatest train wreck in the history of train wrecks.
Oh man.
Like, I'm full, Joe. Like I've been feasting on the digs and the rips and the insults just going to Elon. I've been it's I'm younger. Like I'm younger from
He's so soft. So soft. Such a soft bellied piece of crap. Oh my god. I've never like comedy is free and then like everyone rips on him and then all of a sudden leave me alone. Oh man, and then like accounts get deactivated and stuff. It's so good. It's so
I
good.
can't believe I've invited all these trolls into my home and they shit in my bed.
Why would they do that? Yeah, that'll be $8.
Oh my gosh. It is it is gorgeous. The number of it is gorgeous. And some of them are so clever and perfect, and other ones are just I don't know. It's a shame they're all doing it on Twitter, though. I feel like they should leave Twitter.
No, that's the best part. You're doing it right there on his doorstep. You're like leaving flaming piles of poop, lighting it on fire, and making him go and step on it himself.
I love the advertisers that's like, actually, Elon, that's not what's going on at all. We're leaving because you invited Nazis in. I don't.
Yeah, we're leaving because you made it less
brand,
safe,
man.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
So the idea, the theory you are positing is that there isn't much news because Twitter's on fire. Is that it? Because the video game?
No, but I definitely like
the advertisers are like, we can't go around there.
There's a percentage of like if you go back and look at a lot of the news that gets like released or gets aggregated on kind of like a daily, weekly, monthly basis or whatever, a big percentage of it comes from like developers talking or hinting or doing stuff on Twitter. But there's been so much like disarray on Twitter that a lot of these developers are like, there's a lot of people that have just stepped back and been like, I don't like this place right now. And, I've even seen like a lot of developers that I follow are like, I really don't like in the vibe right now on Twitter. Like they're not talking, they're not interacting. So with them not interacting or talking or sharing or anything, there's like less, like, I don't know. Like, because
as someone who still opens my newspaper and
shakes it out.
I guess I'm like, well, how do you sell your products if you're not going on if you're not advertising them, if you're not talking about them? Roll says, fun history lesson 1, if not the earliest breaking news I had broken on Twitter was the Bin Laden raid. That's that's
100% fact.
Time ago.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems to be like, I mean, you're right. So I guess, a lot of the big newspapers and whatnot use things like the Associated Press, where everything kind of gets aggregated into the machine.
Yeah.
But Twitter has become kind of a big strong arm of the Associated Press. Like it's so they follow so many important names that as soon as one of those tweets, boom, there's a story created from that. And so I
don't follow Twitter at all. I didn't realize it was like it seems like a lot of people are going to have to relearn how to do their jobs if there's no Twitter for them to get the news off of, right?
Right, but on the counterpoint, it's not that they weren't doing their jobs. It's just like people have made it to where that's where they release news. Like if you are someone that creates something or does something, it seems like Twitter was the place that they were like launching or talking about it. And then from there, it would kind of pick up steam. So without Twitter being a disarray, a lot of these people are like holding back news, and people don't go and like create press releases now on a website. Like, what is this website you're talking about? Release an update on like mypressrelease.com.
Yes,
like,
yes, they do actually.
they do after the fact. Most of the time, it's after the fact. You know, you go to like a lot of these places, and you're waiting for them to like upload the press kit. You're like, have they not? Why is this not up? Oh, well,
Why have I not downloaded this on Twitter? I just gonna get my NFT.
Yeah.
Twitter is where you went for your BuzzFeed. Wow, Adam. And where did you go for your BuzzFeed before? Is what I want to know. Right?
Facebook.
Like, huh?
Facebook.
Facebook. You losers! Look at you. You millennials do nothing but kill the things you love. That's what you do.
Yeah. Because we grew up with everyone killing everything we loved. Like it was
nothing of yours got killed except for Adobe. So so like Adam, I my thought process here is that why aren't folks advertising your holiday things? Like what are you gonna sell? Where's the Cyberpunk 2077 that isn't Modern Warfare 2, but not Modern Warfare 2? Because that's a different game from Modern Warfare 2, right? This is a different Modern Warfare, is what I'm learning.
I don't know anymore. I lost track of yeah, right. Tom from MySpace never screwed us. Not only did Tom from MySpace not screw us, Tom from MySpace taught us how to HTML.
He taught you how to HTML. I didn't use MySpace. MySpace wasn't my place.
For all these credits,
I did LiveJournal.
Were you cool enough to be a Dead Journal user?
I did not use Dead Journal. No. There wasn't enough people there reading the fan fiction, the sexy fan fiction.
For all these credits. Welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis, episode 196. We are here. It is November 8th. The world turns. The dough gets made, pressed, put into the oven.
How was your N7 day? Did you celebrate Shepard's victory over the darkness, Mass Effect style? Joe,
wasn't it Renegade? Didn't we lose it? Like, didn't the planet die? Like, did it all die?
You saved the universe in Renegade. You just did what you had to do it.
Yeah, by killing everybody.
Good guy. You just
fair.
Sacrifice your friends. You did it. But I guess there's I totally missed it because I guess I don't follow Twitter enough. But there was some sort of tease drop on a new.
Was there?
Yeah, I guess so.
Where was this? Like
I don't know. That's the thing that like.
See what I'm talking about? Like, see what Elon did. See, this is what Elon did. I blame Elon for all of this. God, horrible. We'll go back to Twitter.
How did you even celebrate N7 Day without Twitter to help you celebrate N7 Day?
N7 Day is my anniversary. Like, that's how I remember it nowadays.
Happy anniversary, by the way. What is it, 13, 14 years? How many years is it now?
14 dating, known each other for even longer, but 14 years dating today, 13 years married.
Listen, everybody who does that, no, it's married. The clock
it's 13. Look, it's 13. I didn't say anything else. It was 13. It just so happened that like on November 8th of the year prior, we decided to make it official. Like we were like.
And then you got married a year later, less than a year later. 364 days later.
Yeah. 364 days later.
Jesus Christ.
It was supposed to be further along, but things happened.
Shotguns.
So yeah.
That's fine though, because she turned out she's absolutely awesome.
Yes. My wife is amazing.
Far better half.
Agreed.
So wait, I'm looking for this. I saw the headline, but I didn't click it. Now I don't even know where it is. Maybe if I type in N7. day.
Let's find this headline. I feel weird that I didn't hear a dang thing about it.
It's because you were too busy dunking on
Elon. I really was just like power dunking on him.
All right, so
yeah, there we go.
Games Radar says the Mass Effect N7 Day teaser has been decoded and it features a secret message from Liara. That's what I'm guessing. Oh, Mass Effect 5 teaser. That's what they dropped. They released a Mass Effect 5 teaser. Let me see if I can pull it up now. All right. Nope, I don't even know how to do this anymore. How do you do this without Twitter? How do we do any of these things?
You can't. You cannot. I'm on Twitter now. Here, I got it.
It's gonna be a single player game. Very exciting. All I'm finding is breakdown sites. I just want the original one. I'm so bad at this. Oh, there we go.
I can see it. How did we miss this? Exactly. The Council will be furious. Although they should know by now not to underestimate human defiance. Perhaps was the most living fate.
So, I guess this is taking place
right
soon after the Mass Effects are destroyed. It looks like to me, and
yeah,
that was a Geth voice talking to someone. Sounded like Liara, maybe. That's exciting. I'm excited for Mass Effect 5. Should be good. Man, I'm trying to rally my excitement, but I'm so bad at this now. So bad at this. All right,
man.
Good. I guess there was like a message you had to decode, so folks had
yeah. Of course, they made it kind of like an ARG kind of thing. So people went through it, decoded it, probably took the audio and threw it into their tools and created it and whatever. Yeah. So,
that's interesting.
Adam, this is so funny. I like that you say that because I have that turned on the Google app, and it is late. It is late. Like hours and hours go by, and I'll get a notification from Google News, and it's like something that I read like 3 hours ago. Like it is
Biden
so
wins
late.
Presidency. You're like Google.
What? Yeah, exactly. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know. No, it's bad. No.
I get all my news from Inger. Is what I do. Is where I get my news from.
Which is aggregated from Reddit and freaking Twitter. I love it.
Yeah,
oh man. For those just tuning in, folks. Again, however many are actually watching this show tonight, because I blame Twitter and I blame Elon. Twitter was purchased. We talked about it last week by Elon, and Elon has been having like a straight up field day, right?
He's been having some trouble. He's been having some trouble. It's been a hard transition in what you would say in the business world. It's been a difficult transition to new leadership.
I don't even. Can you even hold that? Can you hold that in? Like, are you? He's like,
You can't.
You can't. I have never seen someone spend $44 billion on like absolute train wreck. Like,
on like a
this
dare.
This is kind of the equivalent of like. I mean, this is a flex. Don't get me wrong, Elon. By all means, a flex for sure. People light cigars with like $100 bills to like show a flex of money and like magnitude. This guy burned $44 billion to devalue a company. Like,
not just one. Tesla.
Oh, Tesla, everything. Yeah. So
Tesla got tanked because the stock is.
So today, 23 minutes ago, I just got this notification.
Yep.
Offloads another 3.9 billion in Tesla shares.
Yep.
Sold almost 20 billion of holdings this year. Did Twitter hurt him that bad? Were the tweets that bad?
I just think he says he's losing $4 million a day, which is, that's got to be record breaking, right? That's that's like 1 point something billion dollars a year, right? That's good money.
What? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, it's much like, in my opinion, Donald Trump wasn't running for the presidency. He never really wanted it, right? But
wasn't the penalty? Wasn't the penalty like 1.2 billion? Like if he backed out of the deal, he just had to pay 1.2. So he paid 44. Can he just back out and be done with it?
I think he would have paid more than that, but I think he seriously thought he could do better at the end of it. Yeah. He seriously thought.
It's like a week and a half into his
I
purchase,
mean,
and it's like,
when I read that he code stacked his engineers and got rid of all the people who wrote the least amount of code, I was like, aren't those the thinkers? Like right away, I thought to myself, like, aren't those the folks writing the hardest code? Isn't that thing to?
yeah, he left all the people who long write. They basically like they expand everything, and all the people that were like, I see these 6 lines of code, I can write it in 2. I can write it in 1.
Yeah.
I can write all 17 of these lines of code in 1. And he wrote 1, and that guy got fired. The optimizer got fired.
Yes. And also, it turns out like security doesn't write a lot of codes; they refine code, right? It turns out
Yeah.
like moderators don't write a lot of code; they refine.
He fired
code.
all the HR folk. He fired all the he fired all the people that were like in charge of like fraud detection. So what was it? The NFL got their account taken over sometime on Friday, and you had crypto bros sending out crypto tweets through the NFL.
Crypto bros.
Yeah, of course there are, man. Yeah, guess who bought Twitter? A crypto bro. Absolute disgusting. I'm disgusted. It's disgusting, but also at the same time, I'm reveling just like you are at all the burns on this guy. I think every major comedian has changed their name to Elon Musk on Twitter. It's been phenomenal. Everyone is just Elon Musk.
Everyone's now Elon Musk of some sort, and they're getting banned, and everyone's getting banned.
Everyone finds the ugliest picture of Elon with the least amount of hair and puts it as their avatar. It's so great. It's so great.
Oh, dunking on Elon. It might become too easy, but I don't think I'll ever stop enjoying it. Adam says, when I worked a corporate coding job, we had to do 150 lines a day. One dude wrote code to add Dickens books and strip Dickens books before compiling. Nice. So like, get those lines. Get those
there
lines
we go.
Done.
Work smarter, not harder, folks.
Work.
Oh man, I haven't read, like, I feel like the smoke is still too dense to figure out what's going to happen to all the people he fired. I think there was like deadlines if they fired that. Apparently they're all fired, but they're not. Like, he's going to keep paying them until February so that he doesn't have to pay them like the big bonus or whatever.
Oh, is that what? I guess he's trying to wrangle that. He's also hiring back people that I assume outrageous.
Oh yeah, so the news was he was trying to hire people back, but a lot of them are like a big, big old double fingers.
I do it for money, right?
Yeah,
like,
lots of money.
Forgot all the money. So Godspeed, Elon. I hope you save democracy and freedom of speech by preserving your Twitter account. I hope it all works out. I hope there's a purple check mark next to your blue check mark, and we've all learned
all the check marks.
All the check marks.
$8 a month, baby.
Each.
$8
each. Like medals across your.
Oh man, so good.
Quintuple verified.
It hurts.
There you go. I'll work at Twitter for $43 billion. I'm not that greedy, Adam. I'll do it for like $2 million. I mean, like, I'll shovel code all day long for $2 million. Never will they have a man that writes as much code as me. Will it work?
I'll do it for about $1.5 million.
You don't undercut us, bro.
Yes.
Don't drive that market down. Come on. Capitalism will kill us all if you go.
I know. It's gonna kill us all.
I'm just happy to be working, says Joe.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be working.
Look, Rolls, come on. I'll take your.
Oh man. This
unionize, you jerks. This is why you have to unionize.
This week has been absolute crap for news, as we were talking before the show, before we ran the credits. It's kind of interesting. Again, this whole Twitter debacle, this Twitter phenomena. I don't know what to call this. We have become so dependent on Twitter as a method of news aggregation and news distribution that, I mean, things like N7 Day, I didn't even catch it. It was just completely buried amongst the muck that was Twitter and all the Elon crap. And advertisers are leaving left and right from Twitter. You have a lot of companies that usually depend on, that's how they reach their market. They reach the crowd. They reach other journalists.
I feel bad for those social media managers that have built careers around tweet decking their Twitters, right?
Yeah.
What are they going to do now? That's an interesting sort of thing. Twitter is our emotional support. Too long didn't read. That's right. Do they all migrate to Mastodon or Reddit? Like, do we all
So
go
that's the
back to
thing,
old
right? So
days?
there's a lot of individuals. I started a thread yesterday on Twitter, funny enough, that was like, hey, like I'm if I wanted to move to Mastodon, what's the best way to go at it? And someone, retweeted and put like a whole breakout on how it works. Apparently it doesn't matter which Mastodon you choose, which server that you use. You can talk to everyone across other like servers at the moment, but your feed can still be kind of funneled between one server. But a lot of the individuals that I follow, they're like, I'm not leaving the ship. The ship is sinking. Mastodon seems to me like I'd rather just move over to Discord in some way. And I'm like, but Discord isn't Twitter. It just seems kind of an awkward choice. You're moving from like a hamburger joint to like tacos. It's like, yeah, they're both social media.
Discord's like they're on my phone. Like you're inviting them into your house with Discord, right? Like you got to have your own content moderation. It's your own
right.
Yeah,
like Discord isn't a public like it is public, but you create your own Discord server and then people can join it. So I have to join all these multiple Discord. I'm like, is everyone just moving back to MIRC? Is that what's happening? Or we're just going back to IRC in a relay chat? Is that what's going on here?
Oh man!
Do I need to type in
I just want to create an email chain and email my friends all day long. That's all I want. Occasionally,
I'm Latin, so I've got to create PowerPoint presentations and then package them up and send them as .ppts so that everyone reads all my music and my slideshows.
Stop it! No, stop. Just put it on your MySpace page, man. That's
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, man. What else happened this week? I mean, this is a tough week. I will talk about this bit of news, which was absolutely hilarious to me.
Bring it on.
Let's talk about little video game news, little holiday info dump here. So PlayStation announced their Virtual Reality 2 headset, launches in February, costs more than the console. It is still wired.
It's still wired?
Yes.
Well, I assume it's hard to give that much information on your Wi-Fi.
No, it's not. Other headsets that cost less do it better. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I can't believe that this is where we went. This is what Sony wants. Also, again, I had this bit of
tech. Is it because of supply chains? Is it because
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. It is a mess. It's $500. It's February 22nd. $550. Pre-orders will go live November 15th.
Expensive.
The cost of the headset is considered more than the price of a PlayStation console itself. What else? In addition, the base version is also selling a bundle with a VR spin-off for Horizon's Call of the Mountain for $5.99. So for $50 more,
you can have a game.
You can have a game.
That's not even a discount.
It's not a discount.
That's for just $50 more, you can have a game.
Yeah. As announced in January, the VR2 eye tracking inside and out of the camera. So it's got so if you ever use the original VR headset for PlayStation, there was a you had to have the camera webcam up front, and then you had lights on the headset, and that would track you. And then you also could use the old PlayStation 3 Move controllers, which were the hand controllers. So they were like these, very phallic-looking wands with glowing balls on the top. Yeah, so that's what you use because they kind of pieced it together. The headset was one piece, but the Move and the camera already existed prior to the headset.
Right.
So,
but now it's all baked into one device.
Now it's all baked into one piece of tech, but it's got 4K HDR resolution, 2000 by 2040 per eye. I mean, that's not bad.
What happened to VR, Joe? That was going to be I remember 10 years ago at PAX, me being like, "Whoa!" 8 years ago at PAX,
there. It's just the cost has gotten better with Oculus, right? So the Oculus 2 is actually a great headset. It's actually cheap. You could pick it up for pretty cheap. $250.
Is it expensive to develop for it? Why isn't it
people just don't jump on it? It was the toy last year for the holidays. Everyone wanted it.
Okay.
Last year. Everyone had one that was the console sale. It sold a crap ton over the holidays.
Thanks for getting on, Brendan. Yeah. We're talking about VR technology.
Yeah, VR tech. So the Oculus 2 came out a while ago. But over the last holiday, it was like the big holiday toy. Everyone wanted it. Everyone wanted Beat Saber, whatever. Wanted to play Beat Saber with the family and whatnot. And it sold great because again, it is a headset for $250 or $300 now. It went up in price, actually $50 for $300, but it's self-contained, right? You don't need a console. You can plug it into a computer with a USB-C cable and use it as a headset like a regular Oculus, or you can unplug it and play Oculus games not plugged into anything.
Okay.
You can move around, set up in the middle of your living room, whatever, create your space, and then play with the controllers. And it's got its own kind of app, and it's part of the metaverse because it is a Facebook product at this point. And
is that
sad? Well, sort of, but it's not. It's still there. It's just the people buy it, but the disconnect between like console gaming and PC gaming still doesn't like want to bleed over in VR. Like the development still feels very segregated. Like everyone needs to make their own VR app or a game, but it doesn't seem like you can just buy a new game and they're like, here's this new game. By the way, there's a VR mode on it. No, it always has to be like a separate module or a DLC or a campaign, or just like this Horizons game that they're packaging. It's like a separate spin-off that's created for VR. So the teams don't seem to be in synchronous. They're not working together. It's like two teams develop, your own thing.
Interesting.
But that said, though, the Oculus is still a better deal. Like it.
How often do you put on your Oculus?
I play it about once a week with the kiddos.
Okay.
I'll play it once a week.
That was my disbelieving face, everyone. I don't believe that.
I sit down and play it once a week. I play Demio a lot on it. That's one of my favorite games to play.
Oh, all right. So that's your jam. Okay.
That's my jam, and it's probably the best.
I am going to get a PSVR soon for the PS4. They are somewhat affordable. Aren't we up to 5? We're up to 5, right?
Well, yeah, but if you've got a PS4, picking up the headsets are pretty affordable. $150, $100, give or take. You can pick up a used one, give or take. The library is great. One of the best games ever created for VR was on the PlayStation. It was the Astrobot kind of platformer.
You're still talking about a game from like 8 years ago.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's been nothing in 8 years on VR.
Well, no, that's not true. There's been a lot of good games, but they're not talked about, right? Like here's an example. Like I'll pull up. Is there like
a VR verse for Twitter? Like, are they talking about it somewhere else? Is there some place that people talk about VR games? So
there's all sorts of.
Got rid of the VR set. It's now just Joe who plays VR games. He's the only one among us. Joe sent me a VR set, and I
haven't plugged it. You now have a computer that can play it. By the way, you just
do I really?
Yeah, you do. You could plug it in.
I couldn't even get my goddamn printer to work today. You think I could get the VR set?
Yeah, but also that you were like, it's not working. And then you were like, oh yeah, it's already plugged in. And I'm like,
but it still couldn't find it. It still couldn't. It's plugged in, and it didn't tell me what it was.
Did you try unplugging it, plugging it back in?
No, I didn't. I downloaded the drivers.
Yeah, and then it worked, right?
Yes. No, the arcane. I should have went with the arcane technology. Just get the driver.
There we go. That's fair. So
Brandon says finally upgraded from that Dell Optiplex for 2008 cautious. Yeah, no, I did. Joe, I put Joe on a mission, and he sent me a link to a computer, and I bought it, no questions asked. And then I put my old computer inside the new one. The box is so goddamn big, Brandon. You don't even know how big this thing is.
Yeah, definitely
large.
So I've been playing.
In it,
so again, this game is 6 months old on the Oculus, but I just started playing it because I picked it up on a deal, and it's again. So I've been playing this, a sequel to the first one, which I played. I played the first one on the PSVR. So this is Moss 2. Again, I think it's a great way of VR. It's kind of these like third-person view platformers. Gives you a really cool view of a world when you're playing it. Exploration is different.
So, are you playing the mouse or you're?
Yeah, you control the mouse, but then also you can like help the mouse do things like traverse. So it's a full-on 3D platformer, but there's like you help by like holding enemies and helping puzzles, holding things.
I dig it.
Really cool game. The first one was amazing. Part 2's just as good so far.
Oh, nice. Looks cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of games
I
like
played
that.
that on the Xbox, you know, like
Right, but we don't have a headset, right?
Well, I mean, they can put it on the Xbox. It's a platformer. I don't understand why I can't just play that.
Well, yeah, but it's not. It was created specifically. This is a game that was specifically created for VR. So a lot of the mechanics involve you like as the as the mouse, you're moving around the world, and you're sitting back here. You're sitting and you're looking at it, the mouse will go behind like a ledge or something, and then you have to like physically kind of duck around and see if there's a switch back there. You're moving around and kind of look and point at things to kind of point it out to him. So you're a set of eyes, but you're also like a protector, like a guardian for him. Like you're omnipotent. So you're like this, you've been chosen.
I dig it. So, okay. So it's almost like you're playing with your toys.
Right. And a lot of the games that have worked that way, that have been the platformers for VR, have worked that way very well. You're like usually the protector or an omnipotent being of some sort for the protagonist. You control the protagonist, but the protagonist also looks up at you to kind of help you, you help him out, kind of thing. So Astrobot on PSVR did the exact same style of mechanic, and I thought that was one of the best games. So far, that's been my favorite genre on VR. A lot of people like to play others, there's like first-person shooters and whatnot, but that's not my jam. Like they don't feel right. Like they're still, the movement doesn't feel the same. The rhythm games work, the workout systems work, all those games work, and the platformers I think are my favorites.
All the simulator games work pretty well too.
Yeah, and a lot of the simulators like Star Trek Crew, like the Bridge Crew, and all of those are great. But again, VR is here, but is it worth $550 on top of the $500 console that you've basically just bought? Like it's such a weird buy.
You got it 2 years. You got it a year ago at this point, right? If you want
the PS5,
yeah.
I got it at launch, and so, but I'm not speaking as me. I mean,
well, yeah, but you got it at launch 2 years ago, right? Or 3 years?
Right.
How many years is it? So yeah, by now, everyone who wants a PlayStation 5 must have gotten it by now.
Right? No, that's the thing. They're just barely. The shortage has been so bad that it's been so hard to get them on the shelf. Like people are still paying above asking price from scalpers to even get one.
I can't. Better off buying the Meta instead. He's talking about the VR headset. Yes, don't buy that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So like the Oculus 2, the Meta Quest 2, as it's called now.
So that's it. This is it, Adam. Right? I would plug in my VR set if I could play Artemis on it with my friends. Right? That's it's such crappy graphics and not at all worth it. But
would it? Right? Like so that's I think where VR,
like a bridge control deck, and I can just like.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where VR excels. You don't need super duper deep graphics for VR. You just need well created mechanics.
Yeah,
if the mechanics are there, I mean, why haven't we gotten a freaking MechWarrior game for it?
This is like the weird thing. Like I remember at PAX, like a huge section for VR, and then it splashed and vanished. And
it's because these develop, you have to think about it like as venture capitalists, right? Let's talk about it from the money side and developer side. These developers go, hey, I've got this idea for a game. Venture capitalists go, okay, and they throw the money at them. Then the games come out, but the ecosystem is so small that they don't get their returns back. And these studios
stop investing in VR forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then let Zuckerberg take a chance on it, and then it's all gone for Zuckerberg.
Right, and then Zuckerberg is dumping like billions of dollars into the metaverse. What's interesting?
It's his version of Twitter, right? That's what his metaverse is. It's the Twitter and
so. The best way to put it is I am not. So
Adam says I need a headset I can wear with glasses and not barf. Yeah, the glasses thing really hurts. Like
so you can. So again, all of the Oculus have the spacing for it, and again. Because they're a company that they're not going to sell you it, but they sure as hell left it open for third party. There are lots of companies out there that make VR inserts for the Oculus, for sure. As a matter of fact, you can just go on any of the big like Zinni or Zinni Optical or any of the other ones and order a specific pair, and then buy this like frame that snaps in. And just pop the lenses out and pop them into.
I'm gonna need both vision, these glasses for nearsighted, and also bifocals, as I can't read. I'm like this, going back and forth. Now I'm at that point.
I guess I'm lucky. I'm stigmatism, so I'm just all around messed up. So like one lens does it for me.
How I used to be able to depend on at least one thing for my eyes. Now
I don't have it in front of me here. I'll show it to you next time. But I recently one of my recent acquirements of tech. I'll show you these craziness because I do enjoy VR and I enjoy the immersion. And so one of my newest pickups have been the Nreal Airs. Let me show you these things.
So Adam says VR isn't for our old eyes. I mean, like nothing is apparently. I need new eyes, cybernetic eyes, Adam. As I am a joke trying to read my everything, read anything on the computer now.
So I picked these up, and one of my recent DIY projects. I don't post enough about the kind of the stuff that I do, but I took an old pair of glasses that still had a prescription close enough to what I needed, and I shaved them down to fit a specific frame that came with this particular product. They're called the Nreal Airs, and what they are augmented. They're augmented screen. So you put them on, and they're transparent, but also slightly tinted. And then on the inside is a 130-inch screen that gets projected, and then the glasses kind of they're real light, and they have no battery in them, and they just have one cord, and the cord can be plugged into like a smartphone or another device or like a Steam Deck. And as soon as you do it, boom, it's just a monitor. It's just a big giant monitor that's in your way. And
what are you gonna do with all the monitors you have in your office now?
Well, this is when I'm not here. So one of the nice parts is like if I'm on the couch or I'm in the living room or something, I can plug them into something else and I can have the monitor screen kind of just pulled up, but I can see right through it. The cool part is it's for travel. You can snap on these like covers to make them just fully blacked out, and then the screen is fully immersed. So let me show you these real quick. So this is their trailer for. They're a company based out of Japan.
Obviously.
But they're no bigger than a set of Ray-Bans, give or take, so they're not so intrusive. This is, of course, the marketing thing.
I was like, what are they watching?
But essentially, you put it on and you've got this giant screen. But you can also see through them, right? And
was he watching her work out? I'm just curious.
Yeah. So they have their own app on Android called Nebula, which gives you like a bunch of workout stuff. So you can like put yourself on a stationary bike, and of course you see like through it. But of course, multiple monitors stretched across.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I mean,
so why did you have to shave down glasses for it? Because you need to.
Right. So they come with a prescription insert, right? And they're like, go through this company or whatever to do it. And I couldn't find the company to kind of do it properly, but they come with like a frame that you snap into the inside, and it comes with blanks. So I used the blanks to measure my frames and basically shaved them down and made my own. So essentially I didn't have to pay. I already had glasses lying around from multiple pairs that I order. And yeah, they're not cheap. But this was through a promo with them directly.
I mean, but what's not cheap? Like, are they $549?
No, they're $399.
$399. All right.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything should be scaled against the PS5 VR headset.
Right. But again, there's no motion tracking in those. There's no sensors in them whatsoever.
This is just the augmented reality.
It's just a display, an augmented reality display. It's a 130-inch OLED screen in front of your face.
And that connects to a computer?
It connects to anything that does USB-C. So you have an iPad that does USB-C, you plug it in, and boom, your iPad screen shows up.
So you can set up 6 of your friends with these glasses and play Artemis? Is that like
yeah. Yeah. Without anyone looking. Or essentially like you can be in bed, plug them in. They have speakers on them too, like that project. But if you put headphones on as well, no one can hear you.
How's the story going to end? That's what I want to know.
Well, you can be in bed, right? You want to watch TV. You want to watch TV, but no.
Keep going.
There's other devices for that, sir. Thank you very much. But you can lay in bed, put them on.
Monitors, I'm just saying.
And what's nice is since they don't have any motion, like Oculus is really big and bulky, and when you lie down, the motion tracking doesn't let the screen go where you want it to.
Right.
So with these, the screen sits right in the center. So when you lie down, boom, the screen is right there. So you essentially can just lay back.
TV on the ceiling we'd all dreamed of.
TV on the ceiling, right there, perfect. 130 inches, headphones in, and it's absolutely crisp and clear. high res, fantastic. Go check them
Joe,
out.
you never have to unplug now. You literally
No,
never have to
why? The reality hurts. What?
But I mean, when do you find time alone to cry, Joe? That's
I cry with the glasses on.
just under.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
You've got the VR headset on, and just a tear coming out the side.
Yeah, totally. It's hard to describe these glasses, because you can't really film what you're seeing, right? The only best way you could do it is you could take them off and kind of put like a camera up to them and show, but that doesn't give you like the immersion of them. And it's fairly amazing how far tech has gotten when it comes down to how sharp they've made these screens, just this close.
So they brought back the Google Glasses? Is that what's happened? Is it?
They're kind of like Google Glasses with all the other crap, right? None of the camera and anything. It's just a beautiful 130-inch screen right at your. There we go. Back it up. Back it up.
Making the symbol. You were
yeah. There we go. But yes. So yeah. Again, that's a mix of Well, actually, that's what I'm saying. Like for the adult content, all that stuff is more catered towards Oculus, right? Because that stuff is like. If you've ever experienced any of that type of,
not me. I'm a
you
good
haven't.
boy.
You're a kid Catholic boy. When you put that stuff on, that type of content is meant so that when you're looking straight ahead, you turn your head, things are like moving because it's 360.
Right.
But these are just a screen that move with you. So that's harder because there's no accelerometers. There's no accelerometers moving on it. So with the app. I think they're wanting to that you can move the phone and the phone will move the screen with you, but not the actual glasses themselves.
Oh, look at Rolls. After this conversation, Oculus is now officially on my list. Which conversation was that, Rolls? Welcome to the Mid-Geek Crisis After Dark.
As the Mid-Geek Crisis After Dark, without me spoiling anything, the content out there is interesting. There's a lot of companies that pretty much dedicate themselves just to like Oculus adult content, and it's an interesting genre for sure. It is weird. It is weird stuff. I'm still shooting 3D gaming. Yeah, man, like all that stuff died, right? Like I feel like what sucks about it is technology moves so fast, but the price point was still too high for a lot of that a lot of people that were interested in it
just outran
couldn't afford it. They were priced out of it. And now if they had made it all cheaper, they would have been able to get more adoption, which would have meant people would have adopted it. Then they wouldn't have said it's dead. So like I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It didn't get the buy-in enough to actually worthwhile make it cheaper. Joe, your camera.
Yeah, sorry. Let me lock it. There we go. I locked it. I apologize. It just like it was following me around and my hand gestures. There's no app for this. Like it doesn't let you. It's all hand gestures, and apparently I make enough of them that it kills it.
You talk like this. You gotta move around all the time.
But yeah, go check out those Unreal Art. Again, not $550 and not a $500 buy-in to use it. Multiple devices can use it. If you've got a laptop that has USB-C, you just plug in devices like that, and there you go. You can experience a lot of in-your-face type of content. For sure. I don't know. Go pick up a used Oculus.
Adam, what's the difference between VR and 3D gaming?
So VR again. VR is multiple forms of sensory deprivation. Sensory. What is it? Not deprivation. Sensory adaptation. Sensory immersion. I guess is the word. So it's like it's feedback through shaking. It's gyro movement. So you move your head, everything moves. It's like you are physically in the world. You are dropped in a forest. You turn to the left, you're seeing the trees to the left, you're seeing the trees to the right. 3D gaming is just usually it's normal gaming with parallax, right? So you've
like
got
Avatar. That's
like watching a movie at the theater with 3D gaming.
Yeah,
sure, trees. Ben, I swear to God, we're just
250-ish all in for that to use with most of my PCs for the monitor screen thing.
No, I mean if you most modern any PC that's got like a 960 or higher GTX 960 or higher can do any type of Oculus, and picking up a used Oculus Quest 2 for like $200 is the easiest entry point to the VR at this moment.
And the drivers
Like,
are all there now. At this point, they just
well, it's
stand
all there. It
Yeah.
legitimately you own. I mean, you essentially just go and download the Oculus app on your PC and then plug in the headset to your computer, and it'll just start streaming. Like it'll just connect, and then it'll just act like another monitor. So there's no buy-in. There's no extra buy-in. I know, shocked, right? Shocked.
He must have just got the update on Google News.
I know Google News just sent him the update. Oh man, let's talk about some other news real quick, just for the sake of it. Case in point, Sandman season 2 was greenlit. If there was any doubt,
I think the greatest crime in the world was Cowboy Bebop not being greenlit, but the Sandman being greenlit. I wonder what's the difference between these two shows.
Where are we going with this?
We watched the first episode. They didn't really grab us. Maybe I'll go back and watch it.
To what?
Sandman.
Sandman? Really?
Yeah, it didn't really. It didn't. It just. It. I don't know. It didn't grab us. It seemed too emo. I wasn't in the mood for that level of emo just yet.
That's fair. I mean, It is Neil Gaiman, and it is based off a book from the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh no, I knew what I was signing up for.
I know. I'm just saying, like, the emo was there, so like it. No, like
I knew what I was. It wasn't like it was. It was just too much. It's like sometimes you order a cake and you're like, oh, that was too much frosting. That's what this was. That was too much emo.
You might have to come back to it. Just put some Cure on, and you'll be fine.
More emo mood. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like I said, put some Cure on, and you'll be fine.
Put some Cure on. No, thanks. No. I'm a Katy Perry if I'm going to listen to it.
That's fair. You ready for the holiday toy of the year?
Am I what?
You ready for the holiday toy?
What's the holiday toy this year?
You're going to get Wordle, right? The board game?
It's a joyless, lazy knockoff the hit digital game. I mean, like...
Have you seen this?
I know some people really enjoy Wordle.
I play Wordle every day. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. I still do it every day.
There's no strategy to it. There's no, I mean, you luck into your first group of letters and then you slowly eliminate it or lose.
Right.
Like, I guess like, I don't really see it being more than a once a day kind of thing.
Well, I mean, chess is too easy. Didn't Elon say that chess is so easy that, there's no strategy involved in it? It's just.
I was like really insulted. I'm like, chess is not easy, sir. Sir.
Oh man, I Wordle daily for the joy of Wordle. For me is a
board game for me would ruin the fun. Yeah, like you'd put it down on the table and you'd be like, wait, I'd literally rather play any other board game than this. I'd rather enjoy a different board game with my friends. And there are better word games, which I don't tend to enjoy at the table either.
What the creator of Wordle is thinking right now, probably fanning himself with millions of dollars, because I know he made a good.
He made a good amount of money, but I don't know that. I mean, he made a good amount of money making a gift for his wife, right? So
right, it was a word game for his wife.
Gift. Like he got wife points and made millions from the New York Times.
And I'm sure his wife was pretty okay with him selling this game for I don't know how much to the New York Times.
Do you think he's also like I could have made more money, or is he happy? So that's my like.
Oh, that's the plight of being a creator that sells your creation.
Yeah.
I mean. Do you think someone like the creator of Minecraft is like kicking himself for selling it to Microsoft?
No, because he sold it for like $1 billion. Like,
well, right, or
he held out long enough, right? That's really.
I think a good example. We'll loop it back around to Twitter here. I think Jack Dorsey is like completely like annoyed with, even though he's fanning himself with money. For the money he made from the
money to make a Twitter competitor called Blue Sky.
Well, yeah, he's making another one called Blue Sky, right? Like that's the next one. But like at the same time, he immediately hopped on Twitter and was like, "This was not in the playing cards, right? Like this was like, I apologize to all."
This was not the strategy discussed, right?
Yeah, this was not the strategy discussed.
I mean, I'd throw Elon under the bus too as I was walking out the door. Why not?
Right? I'd kick him. I'd hold him under the water. Like I don't know. Just like,
but there's like a transition plan. There's a process. Like whatever. Anyway,
have you ever watched Elon like online or anything? He is like he's the antithesis of wild card. Like what is it? It's just just straight up like
Try somebody to build a flamethrower. We're gonna lure those kids out of the cave. It's good.
T Pandora, you're always welcome.
Thanks for jumping on,
Yes,
T
yes.
Pandora. It's been
What's going
too
on?
long,
What's going on? Been a while.
Yeah. So cashed out Reddit and Wordle and has a universe. Yeah, so he's doing fine, sure, but also there are two kinds of people. There are people who feel like they sold their product at the right price and feel good about it, and then there's other people who feel like they got cheated when they sold it and are mad about it their whole life. Right? There's two kinds of people, right?
So, I mean, I'm trying to think. I know there's a lot of things out there that's happened to. I just can't remember one off the top of my head. If anyone in chat can remember of a product where a creator sold it for way too little and then like they feel like they regret it, please let me know. Because I know there's a few of them out there. I just can't remember one off the top of my head.
Right, like they had an idea and then they sold it.
They sold it too early, too in its infancy.
Behind me, this way, behind me is the D&D game I'm running tomorrow. It's all set up. I'm so excited. I gotta post pictures, but it's gotta happen afterwards. I sent you pictures, right, Joe, of the setup?
You haven't sent it to me, but you have to explain to me. D&D is a in-person game?
Yeah, in person. So like, it's like what we used to do in the before times. We all sit around a table and roll dice and play a game together. Yes, it's beautiful. I had 5 people over last week, Joe. 5. This is the Mid-Geek crisis, I think. How do we make friends after COVID at 40-something years old, right? Like everyone, how do you get into other people's pods is what the question is.
I don't know. Is McDonald's? I guess McDonald's does count. I mean, I saw the movie. I saw the movie with Michael Keaton, which is a phenomenal movie, by the way. What is that one called?
Oh, so all right, that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, I guess. It's a little further out than I was thinking, but yeah, that's definitely one, I guess. Yes, that too. The Winklevoss twins or whatever. Yeah.
But I guess.
I mean, Adam, he's allowed to have. We're in an open D&D relationship. You know, he's allowed to have other side D&D hustles, side pieces.
You guys left me.
Theodore, I've been enjoying the content, man. You've really been killing it with your content on YouTube. Please, everyone, go follow Team Pandora. He's been doing a lot of good content out there. I think the last stuff you've been really digging into, like the adding usage to the Amiga. What is it? The A500 little mini computer, all the like add-ons and hacks and whatnot. So I've been following along on that. Been great. Go check them out.
Awesome.
For sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. In person is hard. It's hard.
It's hard.
You know, we my neighbor, the house next door, sold and then was bought like the day it was sold. Like, I guess that as they were moving out, the people were moving in.
Oh my gosh.
And we didn't even know that the person had left. We never saw the transition. It was so seamless. And then the individual put up a Beto sign out on his front. And I was just like, I walked up to the wife. I'm like, holy crap! There's a neighbor. We've got a neighbor with a Beto sign. What the? It's like we're not the only ones. Like, what's going on? So then Halloween happened, and they were giving out candy, and like we met them, and they were nice people. And then they asked us. He asked me the question that I like yearned to hear. He's like, "Do you play D&D?"
Did he really ask that?
He asked me if I play that, and I was just like, "What? Yes, I do. What?" And he's like, "Yeah, we started during COVID," and I was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna
let me sit you down.
Let's talk. Let's talk." No, it was nice to like see someone out in the wild. Yeah, it's out in the wild and like them just drop the D&D comment. You know,
that's the best. That's so good.
Oh man, just Adam, the amount of like text, political spam text, like I got a deal.
I don't get any. I have so many friends complaining about. I don't get any spam text from politics. Is it because New York is not really a swing location? Is it because it's different? Like,
I don't know, man.
Is it because no one knows my real name?
No one knows your real name. That's why. I'm a registered individual in the party, so like I get messages from all of you. Although my favorite is when I get put on like somehow or another the opposite party sends me stuff, and then I immediately get to cuss them out because I know on the person the specific person that they're like campaigning for is like their ads are like, World War III is happening, and I'm just like,
we've got to close the border.
Oh my God, that guy got an immediate like "F you, don't text me again" kind of scenario.
I'll actually enjoy TV again or YouTube. Like I don't pay for YouTube, so the ads are the worst. Team Bandori says the D&D get popular due to Stranger Things. I think that's part of it. I think
it's part of it. Team Bandori,
like a nostalgia feel for it. I think as much as I think Critical Role has made it difficult to sometimes run D&D games. I think Critical Role had a huge part of it. And 5e, I think the slimming down of the rule set has really made it easy to jump in and just play with your friends.
Yeah, Pandora, if you
it's
are
a beer mental game now.
So let's sell it to Team Pandora here. So if you are familiar with D&D in any way, shape, or form, or have had any type of like memories or interaction or ever wanted to play it, there is no better time to get into D&D than now. Not only because of the popularity and because of how mainstream it is. You could pick up starter sets at Target. You can go to like any major bookstore and pick up figures. You can walk into GameStop or any major like video game location and pick up dice sets now in miniatures and starting adventures.
Barnes and Noble, crazy. Target, it's
Walmart, Target, all of them have like
Target has exclusive D&D starter sets.
And so because of that, D&D is really mainstream in the sense that it's easy. It's never been as accessible as it's been to this day. Also with Hasbro buying Wizards of the Coast, them allowing to bring in like crossover franchises, you get even silly stuff like Rick and Morty has a campaign, and you get stuff like Stranger Things has a campaign, and there's
Penny Arcade.
Like Penny Arcade has been
Gathering has their own campaign set.
Magic the Gathering has a campaign.
They just dropped the Dragonlance series, actually. The Dragonlance series.
And you've also had like toys and stuff like My Little Pony crossovers with D&D, like all sorts of like funky little things that like make no sense, but like peanut butter and chocolate, And at this day and age, it's nice to be able to know that. But just like we mentioned, D&D was popular even before Stranger Things. People, not to discredit anybody, there have been lots of streamers out there that have been pushing the D&D tabletop genre online on Twitch and other places for years now. And one of the bigger ones is Critical Role. Critical Role has become kind of this like conglomeration of D&D content. And they have their own campaign out there with their own brand and flavoring. The downside to that, and one of the things that we talk about on the show, has been that getting into D&D means that a lot of people think that you have to play D&D the way Critical Role plays D&D. And one of the bigger like aggravations that I've seen is a lot of the people on Critical Role are like professional actors, voice actors. They're people that make their living on camera already. So when they play D&D, everything is very bombastic and theatrical. And so everyone expects that they have to play that way. And then when they get to the table, they don't play that way. They feel like they're not meeting expectations. Correct.
Like only watching professional football and thinking you're going to play like that. So Team Bandori says Japan is a different market, which, I hadn't considered what the role-playing environment in Japan might be like.
Team Bandori, I would not say there's a shop that says Magic card that's all been translated to Japanese. That's interesting. I
had Japanese cards 20 years ago. I used to collect the ska tog. There was a white Atog that looks like it was skying and dancing. I bought all the languages. I had them all back then. Man, I was a nerd. But there's just it was like 2 full pages of one.
It's Tuesday at 10:30. Of course, we were on talking about geek stuff. Of course, you're a nerd. That's why you're here.
I remember the page where it was covered in ska togs.
Team Bandori, I'm interested now. If you are out and about. Because I would love to hear from your side of things, because I've loved his like slice of life in Japan kind of videos. If you're out and about, see if you can find anything Japanese D&D related. I know that D&D is popular in a way because of JRPGs, and D&D is kind of the Americanized version of like role playing. But there have been recent animes that are kind of based on the fantasy that is JRPG and D&D. So like it's out there. It might not be as mainstream, but I would totally dig to see if there's any content out there or shops selling maybe Japanese versions of D&D. I would gather that it exists. It's not as popular as it in the US, or maybe we don't know about it. Really love to
Yeah,
hear about that.
I'd be curious to see what their role playing scene is like in general. Like, how do they play role playing games, or how do they play D&D? Like, we have a
I mean,
very different.
even if it's not D&D, I would love to see what
Yeah,
Japanese tabletop is like, because it's got to be. There's got to be there. Like it's got to be there. Like I can't imagine it not existing.
what if it
Right?
wasn't there, Joe? What if it wasn't there?
Yeah. It's went full dose Psych the Dark Magic to me. Yeah, it's just the truth.
I was a nerd always.
Well, next time you're in the city, if you think about it, be like, oh, because gaming in general
We've given you
here
a
in the
quest.
U.S.
Put it in your quest log.
Yeah, just add to the
Quest
quest,
it
add
when
it
you
to the
get a chance.
subquest.
Next time you're there and it comes up, you'll be like, oh, boop, there you go, Mid-Geek Crisis House. That means you do
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
You check it out.
But
When you can, too.
Western culture, Western medieval and Western D&D and role playing and all of that is very Euro style rules in the US. And so European and American have, very similar likes when it comes down to tabletop. But Japanese have their own very JRPG style of role playing for electronic use. But I can only imagine that there's been some bleed over, right? Because JRPG and Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and all that have influenced the way even American tabletop has been created.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I feel like everything I've ever read that purports to provide a Japanese role playing game experience is written through an American role player writing a Japanese role playing game experience, right? So I don't think I've experienced a game that comes from there. So it'd be neat to sort of figure that out.
I only know one bar that do it, but that kind of barred me from it. Interesting.
Fair.
Fair.
Find your people,
Fair.
team. Find your people.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
good.
Because Japan is like
I'm
Japanese
gonna go down that
JRPG.
rabbit hole very soon. I'm gonna have to check
Yeah,
out.
that I'm gonna go check that out now that I thought about it. It's interesting to think about it. Oh man, what else? What else, real quick? So we're out of time here, but I'd like to just hit one more topic, real quick.
One more topic, throw it up there.
One more topic. I'm trying to think about this one.
I hope everyone had the opportunity to vote. I don't know what time your polls closed, but I hope you went out and voted. However way you voted, hopefully with your heart, you voted the right way.
And your compassion, your compassion for sure, for your mankind. I don't have anything. You're right. I don't have anything. I mean, like I said, the before the show, we were talking about how the news has been very kind of dry when it comes down to gaming news in general. A lot of little bits here and there. We talked a little bit about God of War Ragnarok is
exciting.
Out.
Modern Warfare 2
launched. One of the bigger games, I guess, that PS5 is wanting to push. It feels. I own a PS5 and I didn't finish God of War 1. I know, sacrilege. I didn't finish it on PS4. I waited for PS5 and then I started playing it. It's one of those games that I feel like I dump 4 hours into and then I don't come back to it. And then when I do come back to it, I'm like, I have no recollection of this place.
I've done that 3 times with Assassin's Creed Origins.
Right. It's that same, the game is so deep and so.
Game again?
Yeah, I gotta. How do I throw his axe? I know.
I'm gonna fully admit, Brandon, there was a time when I was 20, and here's another sort of Mid-Geek crisis scheme. There was a time when I was younger and I can get into a game and play it nonstop for a month and a half. Now that I'm older, I understand the appeal of games like roguelikes or short, 30-minute little adventure games that I can play, beat, done. Because I don't remember it when I finally have time to sit down again. I was complaining to a friend of mine that I don't really get to play on weekends anymore because my daughter plays. It's not like I'm enjoying her playing, but I don't get to play, right? It's an interesting experience. And yeah, God of War is the PSP benchmark for sure. I asked the kid on Halloween if he was Drax from Guardians, and he said no, he was so from God. I felt so bad. I've stopped trying to guess because I'm 1,000 years old, and I've stopped trying to guess who people's costumes are. I just who are you? What are you doing? So, yeah.
Project wise, talk to me real quick about what you've been doing back there.
Well, I've been cleaning up some stuff. I got my Napoleonics here. That's part of my adventure over there.
Those will be all done and completed and painted and ready for war by the end of the year, right?
End of the year? No. Because I'm also painting some Stargrave miniatures because they released a solo campaign. Because I don't think anyone is ever going to play a war game with me. I want them to play a war game with me. So I picked up some Stargrave miniatures. It's like Firefly, but it's a solo game. You can play a solo campaign. So I'm gonna try to play that. So I'm painting up the miniatures for it. here. I'm cleaning up some stuff. I'm creating some project
About
space.
the magnets.
Huh?
Tell Joe about the magnets.
Oh, you've seen the magnets. So at the bottom of all my Napoleon.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
I've got magnets at the bottom, so when I put them in the clear cases, I can store them sideways.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have my desk over here, and I can just stick them right, so they're right under here. Right.
Yeah.
Keeps the dust off of them for now. So yeah. So all told, I've been painting a lot more. Like as it gets colder, I go out there and I paint a lot more. So I'm very excited to do it.
Barely have energy to play anything after a 10-hour shift at work, even though I work from home. It's all, I mean, Brandon, if you work from home, and you sit in front of a computer for 8 to 10 hours, when you're done, you don't want to sit in front of a computer for 8 to 10 hours. So
I used to sit on my phone for at least another hour, right? Like, and I just so like now I throw my phone into a bin and I come home and I want to do something creative. So that's what I try to do now. I'm trying to get off that phone. I don't know.
Meanwhile, I'm putting screens to my glasses.
I know. I'm
trying to tap it. I keep trying to get someone to install the damn Matrix port in the back right here, but no one wants to do it.
Here's the ridiculous thing I do. I do Audible now, so I put on the Wheel of Time series. I do Wheel of Time series, and I paint. So I listen to the book and I just paint miniatures and build miniatures now. And they're like 35 hours, those books. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm home, baby. And it's two voice actors and they're so good. It's great.
I should do that with Dune. There's a couple of I gotta get past
yourself in the nerd.
So while you're doing that, I guess our polar opposites of what you're doing and I'm doing. So you're working on miniatures, painting, whatnot. I have been restoring more arcade machines, right? So I'll kind of go through the process. I finished this one. This was now in the room. This bad boy right here.
Oh my gosh!
This is my Vuelix. It is completed in a way. It is cleaned, polished. These side panels have been turned purple. I've redone them in purple. All new buttons, new lighting, new wiring, new everything. It's been a blast to kind of do and go through and add the marquee and whatnot. Got a separate screen up top for when it shows me what game I'm playing. So that's been kind of the one that I've been doing the past 2 weeks now. So
that's really cool.
It's been great.
That's also nice because you're done. Unlike my Napoleonic army, Adam, which I will never be done with. Okay, so it's cool that you're done with this.
So there's a shot of it in the purple right there. It used to be gray.
My quarter. Where do I put my quarters when I'm?
They're in the the quarters can sit right there, buddy.
That ledge right there on the cap counter,
right there.
As long as there's space there.
Sit right there. There's a spot for them right there, and the coin slots are actually right here.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, for sure.
That looks good. There's that second player in the corner there. Do you have to pull it out? Is it on wheels?
It's on wheels, so you can move it a little bit, and then they're sit down. So sit down and bench, and they're kind of pulling underneath.
You got to put the elbow out.
Yeah, right? Yeah. There's enough room actually for the elbow. You just slide it out just a bit, and it makes the control.
It's not like a pool, but well, you know exactly where the pool cue can't hit anything, right?
Yeah. No, nothing like that. No, nothing like that.
That's a nice project, man. No, I built a D&D set back there with my Forge World, and I made some terrain, which I'll show some pictures of later. And then I just been painting miniatures all day, every day. So keep up your creative habits, folks. Especially those of you that stare at computers all day. I sleep better the nights where I do creative stuff, so it's always nice. Brandon, I'm with you. Take a nap usually. I think usually I fall asleep because of my blood pressure, and then I wake up and I get some work done, and it's nice. Go Astronaut Go is part of me is glad about the impending doom of Twitter. Yep, I kind of wish Facebook would die as well. That would be ideal if that one went away, or at least stop being as important. Saturday, Sunday, stream some shows, football. I think football should go away. I think that's a giant waste of time. But so nice to own.
Are you guys using Windows for Light or a lot of artificial light? Oh, artificial Windows.
Windows.
Yeah, Windows. What's artificial?
This is my basement.
Rolls, don't get me started. NFL football. Now, college football should go away. college football is the worst.
It's the purest form of the sport. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
It's
just
still
like
capitalism down to its very.
it's straight up like pay, college educational reform. Baby. All that money they make, right, goes right to the education, right?
Not at all. Never.
Not at all. That's it.
Will says, at least you have 3 months of joy ahead of you. This is the worst part of the year for me. No baseball to February. I love baseball, and it's sad that it's over. Congratulations to the Houston Astros. As I understand it, they actually earned it this year. I don't know. But more importantly, they got a parade, and in that parade, Ted Cruz got a beer can tossed at him, and I feel like we all won the World Series.
We all won the World Series that day. Oh, it was so good. Mwah.
So
Thank you so
anonymous individual who got arrested for throwing a can at a senator. I was talking to Sarah because she's like, that's so, and I'm like, that is the purest form of American politics. We used to tar and feather the mayor when we weren't happy with them. We threw tea into the harbor. There's nothing more American than throwing an empty beer can at your senator. Nothing more American.
Also, it goes to show that he's not a Texan, right? Like, if he was a Texan, he would have caught that beer and then powered it down and then crushed it against his forehead and been like, "Hoorah, Texas!"
I think he would have shot it twice in the air first, though, right? Like,
yeah, right. Well, of course, ding, ding, ding. That's how you were. You pull out his guns. That's how.
So I saw people on Philly sports Twitter call that guy the only good Astros fan. See, even when Philly's rooting for you, buddy, you're a saint.
Oh, baseball source too. I got it on. I mean, yeah, you know how these multi-kids work, right? I mean, it's like, I was just showing this earlier to someone.
Set up one of my favorite systems.
One of my favorite games to play that I can't. It's hard to play because it's a very niche system, right? The Sega STV arcade system. But Die Hard, man, the Die Hard arcade game
system.
Oh my gosh, that is.
Did you ever play that?
Deep cut.
Oh, such a good game to play. It's a great brawler, 3D brawler.
Sure, who is there a second player? Is it just solo? I don't remember.
Yeah, second player. Yeah, there's two players. You kind of.
They're both John McClane. Is that how it works?
Well, one is John McClane, and then one is like a partner. Like, again, so the story behind this game is it's a cop brawler game, and the likeness, the developer was like, the likeness looks very much like him. Looks like John McClane.
One of my favorite systems.
So they shopped it to Fox, and so they named it Die Hard. His name is Bruno in the game, as opposed to like Bruce Willis or anything like that, or John McClane. Yes. And they continued the game with more series. There's more. There's part 2, part 3. It's like and the series is called
movies in a very
the game series is called Dynamite Deca. Like Dynamite Deca. So there's Asian Dynamite Deca. So it's like all these like offshoots, but it's always John McClane. And in the game, as you progress your life bar, like you start off with like a body armor, and as you like lose life, you lose more clothes, and you have like just your shoes and your like undershirt.
I played that game on VR for the record. All right, so let's close it out tonight, everybody.
Yeah, Team Midori, there's the Saturn port, but the STV port is a little better. So it's the arcade version of the Saturn. So yeah, anywho,
very nice.
You're right, folks. Thanks so much for joining us. Again, another episode in the can. I appreciate you guys showing up on Tuesday nights and spending your Tuesdays with us. I don't know if you had anything better to do.
Thanks for jumping on, Team Pandora. Go Astronaut, go Brandon. I saw Rolls up there. I think Tim jumped on just to say hi. So
yeah.
Thanks to everyone who jumped on. Always a pleasure. Adam, especially kicking us off at the start of the session. So
I appreciate it, folks. Be kind if you voted. Hopefully you voted.
Be kind.
Polls should be closed by now. At the same time, do something creative this week.
Yeah, rock it out.
We'll play a game, some creative, draw something, read something, have some culture.
Come on, not on Twitter.
Oh God, no,
unless they're burning Elon, then
unless they're burning Elon.
Just enjoy that.
Be kind, everyone.
Bye.